Hey everyone, Tio from Mark Geek Teaching. Today we're going to see if we can salvage this destroyed transfer. This was an inkaide transfer that I messed up. I didn't do what I needed to do. I didn't have enough inkaide transferees on the paper, and I didn't leave it long enough, and so it kind of destroyed the image. Not kind of, it did. So we're going to mess around with masking with some Frisket. We're going to mask with some blue tape, and then we're going to use Verde from 10 Second Studio. I'm going to use iron, and we're going to see if we can make something out of this. So here we go. I think first what I'll do is mask out some parts that I want to keep. And some of it, like I think this in here is probably okay. I don't mind that. So we are going to, this whole thing is probably okay. I'm going to leave a little bit of a piece in there. All of this is good. We'll leave some of that open. Just going to lay some of this down. I may not even need the Frisket, but we'll kind of see. Now, one thing that I hadn't really thought about is I don't know how hard this is going to be to get this tape up. I should probably figure out how to leave some courtesy tabs or something to maybe get it back. But so far I don't know how I'm going to do that. So okay, I've got this thing masked out. Turns out we're not going to need any Frisket. I first started tearing this tape like this because I didn't want any straight edges. Well, when I have longer edges, I tore it like this, right? After a while. So anyway, it took me a second to figure it out. But we are just going to go ahead and paint. I'm going to use iron, and we're going to paint this whole thing. Then we're going to let it dry, and we're going to give it a second coat. And on our second coat, we will spray on our activator. Okay, I think I got my paint where I can use it now. There was a lot of chunks, and so I just added some Floetrol to it and stirred it up. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to clean all this stuff up, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and finish my first coat and let it dry while I'm cleaning up my mess. It is not ideal, but I think it'll work. At least it'll let me use the rest of the paint that's in here. This was really, really chunky, and yeah. So anyway, that's what I did. I think it's going to work fine. We'll see what happens. Whoops. There are going to be some areas that, let me put my Floetrol away. Literally, I have a major mess. I've got stuff everywhere that I used for this that I haven't cleaned up yet. I've got chunks still everywhere that I need to take care of. All right, that'll do it for this coat. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry and clean up all of my messes here, and we'll come back and give us a second coat. Maybe I can get my bottle cleaned up. Okay, evidently I didn't have my camera on, or it didn't record for some reason, but all I've done after my first coat dried, I came back and put a second coat on, and while that coat was wet, I sprayed my piece with the activator, the little blue bottle, and then this is where we are after that dried. Okay, our piece is dried, and it's going to be fun to take off the tape, so we'll see how that works. Okay, I think I've got all of the tape off. I'll dig around and see if there's anything else, but next will be, what are we going to do to make this thing all kind of flow together? And the answer is, I don't know. So I'm going to think about that, and we'll go from there. Okay, I think what we're going to do is just mess around on this thing and see if we can just kind of get it all combined, if you will. Give it some unity, and we'll just kind of go, we'll just kind of go from there and see what happens with this thing. Most likely it's a bust, but you know what? We'll just kind of see what happens here. Okay, what we're going to do here is just move on, and I'm going to throw some paint in here and there, matching colors, and going by the basic structure of this guy, but really just going to throw in colors, see if I can match some colors, and probably, at this point I know that this is probably going to be a bust, but it's still, playtime. It's still time in the studio. It's still time where I can learn. Mixing paint and matching colors is something I can always use more practice at. And so, even if this doesn't end up being something that I can keep or use, which it's likely not, then it's still not wasted time. I'm still in the studio. I'm still playing. And so I'm just going to continue on here, putting color down, seeing if anything's going to come to mind to make this thing pop or to salvage this thing. And if not, no big deal. But like I said, we're still mixing colors. So I'm just going to let this play out here for just a little bit longer, and then we'll call it good.